Hi there again. I'm Carol. Just Carol. This summer I have done a lot of different small projects and some big projects, and I've also been working in the yard. Really working in the yard. But I was sorting through my things and doing some organizing, and I came across some little panels for quilting that I had bought maybe 2 summers ago, and they're very cute, and I didn't have a plan. I just bought them on clearance and I thought they were cute. Well, I decided to start playing with them a little bit in my spare time, and if you're a quilter, you know that quilting kind of can be something that takes a lot of time. If you're just that's not a fair thing to say. If you're a garment seamstress and you don't do quilts, you may just feel like they're too fiddly and they're something you would never be interested in. But a few years back, I gave in and started kind of exploring quilting, and I can't say that I'm greatly accomplished with it yet, but I'm having fun with it. And I'll show you these panels. There are a series of 4, and they say grow your own, ride your own, sew your own, and bake your own. I want to show the one that says sew your own just because it's cute, but I haven't quilted it just yet. So here's that one. I hope that turned out good because I can't see my camera. Anyway, when you start to quilt, you have this little panel and you look at it and you think, well, I need to go buy some coordinating fabrics. And I went to my local quilt store, and I live in a small town named Gig Harbor, Washington, and we have a great little quilt shop. It's called Nancy's Long Arm and Quilt Shop, I think. Nice ladies there, and they're always nice customers. And I went first and I found this little teal fabric, and this is called a grunge fabric, and that's made by Moda. And Donna Jordan on Jordan Fabrics YouTube channel, she just loves the grunge sometimes the grunge fabrics, and I maybe thought she was over touting them when I was watching her videos, but when I got to the store and I looked at them, they are very beautiful, and they really do work well for these bindings that you have to do for sashing on your quilt. And then I found this really beautiful green fabric that has silver metallic in it, and then I finished it out with this red, I guess we could call it a plaid. So I've been working on this quilt, and that's something that I can work on for a little bit on what's called free motion quilting, where you, if you're a regular fashion seamstress, you will feel so uncomfortable when you start doing the free motion quilting, because it just feels all sorts of wrong, where your whole life you've been trying to sew a straight seam, and then all of a sudden you're trying to sew in little curly cues and such. But I'm going to hold this up, and my stitching isn't extremely perfect, and that's okay because it's a quilt. It's a quilt I'm going to throw on my sofa and put over my legs on a cool evening, which in the Pacific Northwest is pretty much every day of the year. And my dogs are going to lay on it or whatever. This is not something I'm entering in the state fair, but I will show you some of the free motion quilting. I'm just going to move it closer. And I've been having fun with that. Excuse me, I have only done 2 of the 8 panels, and I want to show you, I had 8 panels, there were 2 of each, and I needed some way to figure out to make this either a close to a square, a long, narrow quilt. You have to kind of make decisions, and if you don't have much experience with it, you just have to decide what you're going to do. So I decided to try to make it approximately a square, which meant I needed to create a center square. And so this is what I created, and I just think it's extremely adorable. And I found a cute fabric on the main panel. They have a lot of different colors, but they have a little bit of a grayish green in the background. And I found for the whitish looking fabric that's on this, it has little cute sayings and inspirational sayings, and it's written in a kind of a greenish gray, so it's a nice combination. And I've just been putting in, now that it has been pieced, and I put in the poly fluff and I put in the back piece. Oh, that is the cutest fabric. You just can't stand it. I have to show it to you. This is a Moda grunge fabric with a polka dot on it. It is so cute. When I was first looking at this fabric, and I was at the quilt shop, before I knew what my dimensions would be, I had looked at a grunge that was in just white and gray, or off-white and gray tones, and that was what I had in mind that I was going to use for the backing for my quilt. And when I went to purchase that, they were sold out, and I thought, "Argh!" And so I started looking through their fabrics, and I was kind of completely not paying any attention to this particular fabric. And they had it in this polka dot in a reddish orange, and that reddish orange is present in my quilt. You can see right here, there's a very orangey color there. But when I looked and I actually noticed this polka dot grunge, it's just a beautiful fabric, and it carried on the light bright colors of the quilt extremely well. And I thought, that is just so adorable, and so I bought it, and I'm working on this. But the nice thing about quilting is, since it's kind of a piecemeal process, you can set it aside. You don't have to finish the whole thing in one day. So that thing, I will just be changing the thread and setting up my machine to do the free motion quilting. There are lots of channels that discuss how to do that. If anybody really wants me to try to discuss that, I can tell you what I do. But there are lots of channels like Leah Day, Jordan Fabrics, the Missouri Star Quilt. There's lots and lots of instructional channels that will go over that. But that's one thing I've been up to this summer, and I've been having a good time with it. I hope I get it finished before the end of summer. But I do have that yard work to do. I have a flower garden, and I have a vegetable garden, and a whole other group of yard work that I have to do that I will talk about in another video coming up. Everybody, thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it, and happy sewing, and I will see you soon.